So the other day we went to Sherwoods, which is this secluded beach out in Waimanalo. It's a nice place for families to get together, and we got there around lunchtime. And the parking lot was packed. There were people everywhere, tents set up, and it seemed like it was 2019 all over again. And so it got me thinking, is it getting crowded in Hawaii, or is it just me? And the thing is, I don't think it's just me. I think a lot of other locals are questioning themselves about this too, as was highlighted in a recent New York Times article where they interviewed some locals about the experience of tourists coming back to Hawaii. And I think there's this shared anxiety because locals, we know that tourism is good for us, right? More tourists means more money for the economy, especially after this past year. So this begs the question, is Hawaii ready to reopen? And usually when they ask this, they're talking to people from the hotel business or restaurant or retail business. And of course they're gonna say yes, they have all these safety protocols and they are ready to go. But instead, I wanna reframe the question more from a local person's perspective to, are locals ready for Hawaii to reopen? And maybe not. So in this video, I'm gonna go over 3 reasons why I think locals may not be ready yet for Hawaii to reopen. And this video isn't meant to discourage people from coming to Hawaii. I mean, come on down, have fun, follow the rules. But I think reopening Hawaii is not as simple as flipping a switch or passing a new rule or ordinance, because Hawaii is people. It's made up of people, and people often take time to adjust to new things, and I don't know if we're gonna be ready. So the first reason that locals may not be ready to reopen is that it was pretty nice this past year having Hawaii tourist free. I mean, really, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. I don't think ever in the history of modern Hawaii, and probably never in the future, will Hawaii have this little tourists over the past year. And that was both a blessing and a curse. Because a blessing because a lot of locals were able to reclaim a lot of spots that we really gave up to tourism, like Waikiki and a lot of our secret spot beaches. Well, at the same time, of course, the economy was bad. And locals put up a lot for tourism. We give up places and culture and gotta send long lines, and of course traffic and price and all these different things that we as locals have to put up with. But we know that the benefits of tourism in general outweigh the negatives. I think it's gonna be really hard to go back to how things used to be, especially with the number of tourists. Maybe people don't remember, but back in 2019, we had over 10 million visitors come to Hawaii, and that's of course a record high. And at the beginning of 2020, we were set to have even more visitors come. And so going back to that type of busyness, it's gonna be pretty tough. But I think in this past year, it's given locals a lot of time to sit and think and to really experience what life would be like without tourists. And when given that amount of time, maybe we sort of reevaluate. Maybe tourism isn't so great in all of its facets. And the second reason for locals may be that resentment for tourism, while it's always been there, it may be growing. And a lot about living in Hawaii is about respect. And I think a lot of locals feel disrespected when visitors come here and they don't listen to the rules, not just the pandemic rules, but rules about beaches and other things. In a lot of ways, I understand that sense of entitlement. As a visitor, you're paying a lot of money to come to Hawaii, and maybe you don't want to listen to all the rules. I mean, you're here to relax, and back where you're from, it's stressful and hard. So coming to Hawaii, yeah, why would you want to listen to the rules? But let me tell you, it's really hard as a local to see people come and not listen to the rules. And by no means are locals listening to the rules either. I mean, we have our own problems with parties and get-togethers. But let me tell you, it's really hard for locals to see other people breaking the rules, especially when for the past year, we've been doing social distancing and wearing masks, and some people basically isolating themselves. The thing is, we don't know when the rules are gonna change. I mean, I wish they would just come out and say, after a certain date, you're not gonna have to wear a mask, especially if you've been vaccinated, but I don't think we're ever gonna get to that point, at least for this year. And already there was resentment against tourists, but I think this whole transition time is gonna make it even worse. And again, it's not like we don't want tourists to come. We want them to come and spend money, but it's gonna take some time to make that adjustment. And the final reason that locals may not be ready to welcome back tourists is that we're still trying to figure things out on our own here in Hawaii. I mean, not just on a state level, but also on a community level, as well as a personal and family level. There's a lot of uncertainties, and it gets even more complicated if we're still trying to figure out what we're gonna do as we're welcoming back all these visitors and tourists. For example, the impact on work. I mean, telework here in Hawaii, never thought that'd be even possible because of how things usually are here. But now that's an option. It means that you don't have to live near where you work. You could actually even move out of state if you wanted to. Another thing is the closing of a lot of businesses, whether they close for good, close temporarily, or they're gonna have to sort of pivot their business model to adjust to these times. But I also think that there's this impact on community and families that's probably not really being looked at very closely. I mean, after a year of Zoom calls and not really being able to get together, how is that going to impact how families are, especially here in Hawaii, where seeing each other and hanging out and talking story is so important. I mean, do you know how long it's been since I greeted an auntie with a little kiss or gave a bro hug to some other guy? But on a personal level, I think the question is now the time to leave Hawaii? And I think a lot of people are asking themselves that when the rent moratorium ends and eventually people have to pay back their rent, are they just gonna leave? Or have people just depleted all of their savings, and has life just become too hard? And when you look at the mainland, places like Vegas, Oregon, California, Washington, Texas, I mean, do you really want to live here anymore? And for some, the answer is going to be yes. They're going to take this opportunity to pack up and just move. And what that means is that you're losing part of what Hawaii is. I mean, what makes Hawaii Hawaii? Again, Hawaii needs visitors for the tourism industry to grow back to what it used to be and bring back a lot of great economic activity. But I think it's going to be more than just bringing people here in a short amount of time. As summer approaches, we're going to see how this adjustment or this transition goes. I mean, is it going to be really, really fast, or is it going to be slow? And from all indications, it looks like it's going to be pretty fast. So when it comes to tourism, I think there's a lot of mixed feelings. And if you go and you ask local people, it's complicated. So thanks for watching, and aloha.